Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast a very, I don't know, this game really, this very lengthy replay, I will say that much. It did catch my attention from the front page of drop.sc, but without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce both players. Spawning is our red Terran in the lower left-hand corner. The map is Newkirk Precinct. I introduced to you someone that I've seen and competing in various online tournaments on the front page of TeamLiquid.net, none other than HTO Mario. And in the lower right hand corner, his opponent, who is a Grandmaster's level Protoss. I'm not entirely sure just what his name is yet, or of his records, his online performance, and so on and so forth. His name is NF Team Mate. Now I'm not entirely sure what NF stands for, but I would say he certainly has a lot of pull in his clan, considering he is a GM level player. And it looks like so far we don't have it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say we didn't have a barracks going up over here, so I thought this was particularly early. What we're probably going to see from Mario is a what's the word I'm looking for? 3 supply depot wall off, and there we go. It looks like we got a refinery going down particularly early, and this probe still doesn't know about it. Painfully close to it, but doesn't know about it just yet. It may just have that information coming to it. Yes, it does. Now, the one thing that I think, there's a lot of things that this could lead to. TVP 1v1. That would basically be, if you're going into, say, classic Wings of Liberty play, that would basically mean a barracks, a factory, and a starport. Not necessarily a reactor on any of those, but we have Mate throwing down a pylon right next to it to prevent the reactor from going down, in case that was the intention of Mario. And meanwhile, we see Mate just basically going for, what's the word I'm looking for? He's just basically going for a Nexus first opening. Nexus first opening. It's a very brave one. Greedy-ish, especially given the fact that we see a Reaper coming out so far. The pylon was canceled, it looks like, and I don't know. I don't think I would see SCVs get pulled off the line to do that. But all right, so here we go. Mate's getting his CV chased around, and I don't think it's going to make it out of the base. Oh, it may just do so. It's probably going to make it out of the base. Nope, no, not with that Reaper coming. Sorry, guys. I got your hopes up. I forgot all about that Reaper. Well, HTO Mario has this Reaper out and on the way to the natural of Mate. Both players basically gearing up for at least a mid-stage game, maybe an early. We see the early stage actually taking shape in this game so far. SCV is moving out along with the Reaper, oddly enough. We do have the second Nexus finished. Cybernetics core on the way, and a Forge. A Forge, interestingly enough, is going down for Mate. Reaper comes in here, sees that there are no probes, and it looks like the Zealot is going to try and come in here and maybe just put a slight stop to that Reaper. A few probes get pulled off the line, a few too many in my opinion. But you can never be too careful versus a Reaper. It can just Infinikite a, what's the word I'm looking for? It can just Infinikite a Zealot, and we do have a Stalker in production along with the standard, of course, Warp Gate tech. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't know, it's there. You might find that once in a million game, or that once extremely rare game where you find a pro Terran going up against a Zerg or a Terran, and did I say Terran? Okay, you find a pro Protoss going up against a Zerg or a Terran, and then they forget warp gate tech as soon as the forward pylon goes down, and they just completely screw up their game from there on out. Forward bunker only has a few Marines inside of it, and now we have a starport follow-up. A starport and a factory follow-up. So this is basically, I think, some sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a timing, of course, with some kind of a 1-1-1 opener. We have 2 Widow Mines going down in a forward position. The only question is just what kind of a what kind of an opener are we going to see from this toss? Or excuse me, from what kind of opener are we going to see from this Terran? You guys will have to excuse me, I'm a little sleepy, just a little bit. But here we go. Armory going down as well. What this will allow Mario to do is to research the Hellbat, the Morph Hellbat ability from Hellions. And I think, you know, the more I look into this, you know, 111, the Quadra 1, if you will. No, it looks like I was wrong. Okay, well, we can see Hellbats are possible to be built right now. And interesting direction to send a medevac out. That's actually the long route around. And here we go. The Twilight Council going down for Mate. Concentrating just a little bit too much on one side of the map. They need to concentrate on both sides. And the Stalker and the Sentry are both in position to intercept whatever Mario throws at Mate, but not from the north direction. So what we could see that would be likely to happen is perhaps some kind of a drop, a zoom into the main, or otherwise. I want to say that if we see the Widow Mine drop here, one Widow Mine drop there, then it would be in a relatively safe position. And we see, I think this is over-probing, so what we're going to see is a quick expansion rather soon. And Widow Mine number 1 is burrowed. Probes kind of getting pulled off the line. And it looks like, oh, Mario decides to pick it up and get out of there. Alright, so the medevac is taking fire. Some Marines are here kind of peppering away at the Stalker. 2 force fields do go down. But Mario's just kind of forced to back off for now. And the Widow Mines burrow. And they unburrow. And for now, it seems that Mario has opted to pull back. He didn't really do any damage with that attack. If we just look at this right now, I don't think we see any more losses there than we did in, say, the early game. Maybe just a couple of workers that went here and there to get on towers, and that's about it. And Mario's following this up with more gases. He's throwing down a command center that will be turned into an orbital command and floated into a more ideal location, perhaps right here. This location would be harder to defend, but of course this one is closer to a Protos's, what's the word I'm looking for, defense line. If there's one map that this one does bear resemblance to, if you stop and think about it for a minute, it would be Shakura's Plateau, but with only two positions to spawn in, and the ground just seems to go from higher to lower, to lower, to higher to lower. It looks like, I'm just a little curious, what exactly did the Marines take down here? I did kind of miss that. Alright, 2 Widow Mines on this Zelnaga Watchtower. That is actually the more critical of the two. This one up here is better to take for the late game because, of course, it'll evolve in that direction. 2 Zealots coming over here. This is just 1 Marine basically moving in, and this is another Marine making sure that the main army doesn't move out. Orbital command going down over here, and I'm thinking what Mario could be thinking is coming from Mate as possibly a 4th expansion rather rapidly. Okay, and now we got a lot of Widow Mines along with a lot of Hellions. Now, if Mario wanted to, he could actually go ahead and research transformation servos, but first he's going to go ahead and research drilling claws while simultaneously moving out. I want to say that this is the one point in the game where Mario is most vulnerable. The 2 most valuable units he has in his composition would definitely be any Widow Mines, and it looks like there's only a Zealot and a Stalker moving out right now. Standard-ish, and the Zealot's going to follow along with that Stalker while... You know, those Widow Mines, really expensive, but making sure that nothing bad, too terribly bad happens. And these Hellbats, oh my god, they got into the main, but they've only each gotten 1 kill. A feedback from a High Templar took down the medevac that brought them in. The horse they rode in on taken down, and we have a lot of probes that are lucky to be alive. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, why don't I just play with the health bars constantly on? Well, That's just because it basically reduces the cinematic experience of telling a story when casting. I understand there are a lot of online events that do this, but I myself do not particularly like to do this. Neither do the bigger guys that pertain to that seem to have more concern with getting a quality stream up and running. I'm not saying that I'm elitist and I'm trying to prioritize quality. It's just that when I'm telling a story, I don't like for the health bars to distract everything. And if I do need to get the health bars out on critical units, you know, this is how I do it. I just click on everything that carries energy at the most critical points and see how things go from there. Now, we do have 4 Hellions waiting here to maybe conduct a run-by on the 3rd of Mate. Of course, actually, he's going to see this. That's kind of a storm that's wasted. Chrono Boost going down and another storm that goes down, but of course, only 2 High Templars are remaining. I didn't know that Hellions actually got a buff versus High Templar. Wow, okay, I never actually knew they were this soft. 40-40. And now we have a bunch of Widow Mines kind of moving into an interceptive position, and this could be bad! We need to see all these guys burrow, and they do. Only 1 or 2 missiles get out, and that's actually only 2 Zealots dead. There's an observer somewhere in all of this. 2 observers, actually, and... ouch. Storm's going down, destroying a lot of those Widow Mines. Oh, my God. Oh, that was actually kind of bad for our Protoss, just a little bit. You know, there's actually... You know, these guys are like short-range siege tanks, and a lot of them are in red HP, only 1 HP left on that one. And just, we see, I don't know, that's kind of some kiting, you know, some epic-ish kiting action. Alright, so we got a lot of Hellions, a lot of Hellbats in the mix, and a lot of tanks that are not sieged up for Mario, but he does have a rather decent supply lead. That means, I think, well, simply due to the fact that this game lasts a while, we're going to see some basically epic kind of counterattacking from Mate, if not just, you know, altogether excellent engagements for him. Kind of a bit of a spoiler alert, but I don't want to be too artificial about casting this. We do have a planetary fortress going down at the 4th base location, and it's like, you know, HTO Mario, wow, all this money. What exactly is he doing with it? Did he win the lottery or something? You know, oh wait, that's right, he's got mules. Zealot up top was taken care of. It looks like these Hellions are actually getting in a position to do a run-by, and that actually directs the army of Mate to move towards the top position. He's inevitably going to be forced to expo here. It's just the safest direction he can expo into. Oh, and the Hellions actually got by that pylon wall if it was not complete. But of course, the Colossi are coming back here and taking care of it. You know, those giraffes, that's a lot of Immortals in the mix as well. I'm just, you know, I'm a little curious as to how this is going to work out. I mean, and behind this we have a lot of infrastructure being tacked on. Actually, 2 gateways getting in the mix as well. They're effective versus Thors. Obviously effective versus tanks, and I think quite honestly, there's a lot of limited anti-air here. The Sentinel missiles on these Widow Mines do shoot up, but the question is just what is their range? We're about to find out. I think a Void Ray can actually outrange that. But here we go. Both sides just really turtling up, and wait, where was that scan? Right here. Looks like Mate, Mate's main army has basically been spotted. Okay, well, great. There's all these High Templar, there's all these Zealots, there's all these. But I think the more critical part of that composition may not have been scanned. There it is. There's only 3 Immortals. And there it is. A lot more Immortals. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm thinking that possibly Mate could be building these Immortals to kind of counter the Widow Mines, if you will, but if they are directly hit by a Widow Mine, it will take off all of their shields. Yes, the hardened shields of the Immortals actually do not help them defend against Widow Mines, but, you know, a lot of Immortals versus a lot of tanks, I think we're going to see a lot of Immortals winning. And, you know what, they might do okay versus these Hellbats. but they only do 20 damage to each one. The big thing is they're really good for killing tanks. We do have +2 weapons on the way for Protoss. Terran ship weapons level 1 on the way for our Terran. The question is, like, where's he putting these upgrades? He's already got +3 attacks. Oh, and this is actually a beautiful engagement for Mate. And a lot of these units are going to be caught out in the open, and that's actually just way too good for Mate right now. That really is. I mean, you see just how much lower the supply, the difference is between the two armies. We actually have 17 supply more for Mate presently than we do for Mario. And there's a double warp prism here. I'm wondering what that's all about. Here we go! Huge engagement! How's this going to work out? There's a lot of Immortals. They're trying to move forward. The Hellbats are weighing back. They can't get to the front of the line. And we see now that Mate is raffle stomping the main composition of HTO Mario. There it is. Everything has been destroyed. But there's so many defensive planetary fortresses here. I think at the very least we could see the Colossi try to move forward and just snipe on what's there. And there's double planetary fortresses going up here as well. We have to see Mate leap onto that to really prevent it. And now we have warp prisms going around the map trying to get some harassment in. This 4th base is a planetary fortress. And if we check the income for both players right now, that is a lot for Mate and a lot for Mario. But Mario's multitasking skills are being taxed. It looks like there was a battlecruiser in production that just got canceled. Yes, there are now 2 in production at the Natural. He's got the capability of cranking out 4 at a time, and we're going to see Thors thrown into the mix as well. We are going to have to see Mate basically remax on Void Rays ASAP. He has 1 or 2 in the composition, but that is it, and it is about to be shot down. Yes, the battle cruisers are out and on the way, and we see this right now. We have Mate cranking out Void Rays. These Immortals could be thrown away because they are basically useless against this anti-air or this all-air composition that we see from Mario. This one Stalker hanging back, just trying to take down some Vikings. It's not going to quite pan out. And look at these. You know, just look at this. This is the biggest you don't want to screw with me kind of army that we could possibly see in the entire game. And here we go. Double Immortals. Probably going to go down in the 4th-ish position, and they're about to march down there, and it seems as though Mario has just now caught on to it, but this is a really altogether slow-moving army from Mario. The Hellbats are no exception to that rule, and it looks like the Warp Prisms are going to get away relatively unharmed. They do have the speed upgrade, so they can outfly Vikings and everything else, and it looks like we have Mate getting ready to take his 5th, just as his 4th has been finished for about 2 minutes now. Actually, this is his 5th. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th base just going down for Mate. And this is just, wow, epic Turtle Fest by both players. You know, I mean, someone at the end of this game is going to be so angry. I can just tell already. And right now we have Mate basically throwing, or not Mate, but Mario throwing away a bunch of scans to try and figure out just where Mate is and what his army composition is. And I just feel this is altogether and almost entirely too many Immortals. They're going to work like Vikings do back in the day to just target down Colossi, and this is not what Mate wants to engage into. He is forced to, but here we go. The Immortals moving forward, trying to take down the Thors. It's going really well. Stalker's warping in back. The Warp Prism gets targeted down, but it's all but too late, and now we have nothing but a handful of Stalkers shooting back at these battlecruisers, and the battlecruisers are going to be forced to chase these Immortals back to his home base. Otherwise, he is in a heap of trouble, and that is exactly what he is doing. So there we go. Mate, without a single doubt in his mind, just basically pulling back, and that was kind of cute. He just blinked one Stalker forward to take down the last battlecruiser there. And the rest of Mate's army is just kind of moving in there, really trying to get some damage done wherever it can. These Immortals do get buffs versus armored units. That means they would be the ideal unit to use against planetary fortresses. But for now, we don't seem to see that that is the concern of Mate. He's trying to make them as useful as possible while constantly remaxing on Tempests, Void Rays, anything that does a lot of damage to battle cruisers. Now, I'm just a little curious to see just what, you know, are we going to see Mate couple his Tempests with Void Rays and really do some damage to those battle cruisers or not? But everything here is massive, and the Tempests actually outrange everything from Mario right now. My biggest concern, however, is seeing Mario counter this with Ravens, just throwing them straight as his opponent, because Ravens, I believe, have all the time in the world to actually use their Hunter-Seeker missiles, which now they do damage. They do splash damage to the best of my knowledge, but if a unit outflies them while they're being targeted, then the Sentinel missiles basically, excuse me, not the Sentinel missiles, but the Seeker missiles do not get out. They don't fire at all, so it's basically wasted energy. Widow Mine over here kind of sees a probe, but is not going to shoot at it. And now we have Stalkers trying to take down the scouting barracks. And with that, I think we don't actually have any valid scouting from Mario on just what Mate is doing right now. There are a lot of Tempests in this army, guys, and I think they'll have no trouble cleaning up the Hellbat army once the battle cruisers are dealt with. And here we go. Looks like there was some kind of an attempted Hellion run by. Did they get any worker kills? It looks like not many have been made over the course of this game. And right now we can see Mate is actually tacking on some cannons. And Mario's just going to try and go for it. He's going to try and do some damage here. But oh my god! The amount of cannons firing off to try and do as much damage to the Tempests as possible. A few of them do fall. Feedback's going down on the battle cruisers before they engage. And then we see the Tempest coming back here and doing all the damage they can to these massive units. More and more battle cruisers flowing in, but it's just not going to be enough. And oh my god, what was once a thriving army is now nothing but shreds and falling from the sky. Look at these hero immortals. As many as 5 kills on some of them. The Tempests in back trying to fly forward and get as much damage done as possible in the very little amount of time that they have to do it. There's nothing but a wall of missile turrets here, though, so it's going to be very difficult for Mate to actually get in there and do anything. There's an immortal wall here too as well. There's an orbital command right there. I wouldn't say that's the best thing to do. Moving into it, that is. And now jeez, here we go. Wait a minute. A planetary fortress isn't massive? Well, I guess I would be overpowered if they were, because this is actually what the Tempests get a buff against. Actually, versus only air units. Never mind. My mistake. And we have some SCVs coming back to repair that, so it's not going to be too much damage. But for some reason, we see that Mate doesn't really want to overcommit to this. There's nothing going on at home. No harass. No drop harass. Nothing of that nature. But, oh my god. Great God, Batman. I see nothing but a bunch of command centers in production right now. You know, I think we could be seeing HTO Mario either turning these into orbital commands. I think it's more likely we'll see them turn into planetary fortresses, and then maybe 2 of them will be placed here, and another 2 will be placed here and here to prevent Mate from moving forward. When Mate had a window of opportunity to do damage, it was with those Immortals and Tempests back over here, but now we see Mate is actually willing to throw away supply. Looks like he's trying to kill a Widow Mine. That's actually kind of funny. Each of these probes is only doing 2 damage. Ooh, boy. And the Tempests are coming back. One of them does get a snipe shot off on it, and we see all kinds of silly stuff going down in this game. And that's a lot of Widow Mines and a lot of microable units. And I think SCVs have been pulled to give emergency repairs on the fly. And these orbital commands are ready to go. It looks like they were not, in fact, turned to planetary fortresses. The only question is, where are they going to be used? It looks like this is the point in the game where we have Mario ready to throw away SCVs, but at the same time, he's not doing it correctly. It would probably be an okay idea to pull 20 or 30 and have them accompany this entire force. And I want to say maybe there's just too many Immortals here. Oh my god, the Widow Mines are just cruising forward, trying to get in a position to do some damage, and it looks like they will! Oh my god! The northern chunk of all the Tempests were taken down. Multiple Ravens, Hunter-Seeker missiles are targeting down a single Colossus, but it looks like so far so good. Both players are actually exchanging relatively even. This point defense drone's up, and if HTO Mario was using that to his advantage, he would actually be moving forward to attack. There's no harass coming from either player, but it looks like we actually have... Oh my god, what could this be? Cloaked ghosts are going down, and a nuclear launch! A double nuclear launch going down on the third. There's a nuclear launch going down in the main from Mate as well. I just know there's no way he's going to be able to hold this. There's no way he can... Oh my god. Oh my god. Nuke number 1 is about to come down. It's not going to get any probe kills except for maybe 1 or 2. And in the main, it's getting even worse. The infrastructure is taken down. We see that one Stargate is now at 8 HP. And most of those ghosts make it home alive. This is the only flaw that we can see from Mate. And he's realized now that he's basically on borrowed time. He only has 1 operating Stargate presently. That's about to change. And in production, we can see that more nukes are being made. Oh my god. And the mules are being put on the mineral line of Mate to try and keep him from getting away with minerals. Not actually to make him think that his opponent's trying to steal minerals, even though that will be the case here with 1 or 2 of these mules. And now we have the Vikings kind of going forward, but another nuclear launch is going down! Sorry, I tried to check that one coming out of the nuclear silo. Not going to work out. And the probes are being pulled off the line, but we still have this main engagement going down here. We have Mate plummeting in supply. And oh my god, the nukes are out. They're going back into the main, and all of this infrastructure is going to be destroyed. The nuke is already destroyed. The Nexus in the main, and oh my god, there's just too much to keep up with here, guys. Oh my god! Mate is falling apart! I've never seen a better replay in my life to cast, ladies and gentlemen. These ghosts have not been picked up, but I mean, just they're just poking away at Mate, doing as much damage as possible. Mate, you know, his income is just, it's not that much further below that of HTO Mario, but right now he's got to do damage where he can. EMP is going down, and the Colossi are actually doing relatively good damage to the Widow Mines. And this is not good right here. No one Colossus falls to a great wall of Widow Mines, as well as the Vikings getting off a single shot, a single volley, and Tempest is now trying to do damage to all of these Ravens, and it just looks like the main army of Mate has fallen. These Vikings are being landed, trying to trap these Stalkers. Not quite going to work, though. They do have Blink. And the only player with some secure income right now in this game is, without a doubt, both sides of the map. Oh no, more nukes going down as well. Trying to catch the nukes as they're coming out of the silo, but it's just too damn difficult. We see that Mate is slowly melting. He just lost a great deal of supply a moment ago. Blink into the main. Another nuclear launch goes off. It just barely missed it. The question is, where's this one going to be? Looks like it was canceled at just the last moment. We have 4 nukes in production at a time, and Mate is really, really suffering. He needs to get that infrastructure back up, and desperately he's tacking on warp gates. Warp gates will not help him at this stage in the game. He needs something that does AoE. He needs a lot of High Templar. He needs a lot of... he just needs a lot of everything that he can't make right now. He needs more Tempest. He needs a real mothership to get an actual Vortex going. And there it is. This looks like it's going to be one of the final engagements, a penultimate engagement, if you will. The question is, when and whereby, if ever, are we going to see the next nuclear strike? I don't know. The Pocket Northeast expansion was destroyed. Vikings are landing to take down Stalkers, and now we see Mate definitively pulling back. HTO Mario just not losing steam in this game at all. And the Storms are trying to go down and save the main force of Mario. The Hellbat's not quite going in and doing a lot of damage, but the Storms are just absolutely sick, and it's just not really helping Mario all that much. The Widow Mine's coming down to prevent reinforcements from going to what was originally the 3rd base. And more scans going down everywhere. Mario wants to keep an eye on his opponent, and this is why you don't want to take it to the late game playing versus a Terran. They can practically have map packs with as many scans as they have. Look at all 4 of these orbital commands and how much energy they are floating. The income is actually about to get depleted. And here we go. This looks to be one of the final engagements. And Morals are trying to take on the Thors. The Stalkers are forced to blink back, and more nuclear launches are going off. This Next one targeting what looks to be the final base of Mate, the final mining base, and I just don't know what to make of this. The great photon cannon wall has been destroyed, and now we have Thors marching in to do their damage. And more and more nukes just going off everywhere. Look at all of this. This is going to take down easily the Stargate and all the gateways that are down here. One pylon is one gateway is unpowered. We have the engagements going down here. These desperate engagements that Mate just cannot hold off against. And oh my god, poor Mate. That's all I can say right now. This game has progressed to 42 minutes in, and I gotta say, this has been the best replay I've ever been sent. Another nuclear launch going down. And whoa, god damn. That's just it. That's the Nexus, and it's on borrowed time right now. HTO Mario's still on one base income, just like Mate is. But of course, if you want to examine what he could do, and that's exactly what he's going to do, he's going to put an orbital command right here. And that will just give him a solid lead. Let's forget the fact that he's already 100 supply above, and there are 3 nukes going down. He wants to keep the momentum going. He's doing what very few players can do in the late game, and as the game is about to finish. Here we go. Robotics Bay is going to go with this one. I don't know what was in production, but it's basically been destroyed. There's no power on this to get the last Immortal out, and another nuclear launch is going off. So many are going down at the same time. It's like 3 at a time. The scans go down to give vision so that he can actually land those nukes. And now we see Mate on one of his last feet. He's got income here, but what is this? These Hellbats are going to go to town on the mineral line, and Mate is doing what he can to hold this desperately, but surely not giving up. He thinks this is a close game, but I'm wondering if he knows about this orbital command right here, giving HTO Mario even more income. Another nuclear launch going off. And it looks like this one's basically to target whatever may be going down. Another nuclear launch! I don't know what to make of this, ladies and gentlemen! And oh my god. Oh, this is actually going to be quite funny. Mate just being torn asunder with all this, and it looks like one of those nukes got his main army. He just says GG, and he was defeated. It was almost as though he was playing against a robot. HTO Mario, you know, I see now why you are in so many tournaments, but I don't know why I don't see you at tournaments like MLG, NASL, and the such. I hope you do well in the future, bro. Keep uploading your replays. I really want to see how they're going. Guys, if you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. It should have been glowing red for the entire video that you guys saw. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.